Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Yasuranandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yasuranandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yasuranandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Braja Jana Ranjana.
Jamuna Tira Bonachari. Jamuna Tira Bonachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ho! Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Ho! Jai Radha Madhava ki, Sri Sri Radha Giridhari ki, Sri Sri Radha Giriraj ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivraj Gijaja Shuddhasi Simad His Divine Grace Sabai Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivraj Gijaja Shuddhasi Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, C.C. Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Stai Padaya Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Samam Gauravani Puchadini Vishesha Shunyavadi Pasatatish. Can this be heard in the kitchen? Bang a pot. Okay. So Santosh is cooking breakfast, right? How about Janardhan? He's just cooking. No, he's just cooking. What you know he is? Just getting ready. Okay, he's getting ready. So this morning, reading from the Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 4th chapter, text 28. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskricham Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. With the blessings of the assembled devotees, I'll try to say something. Okay. Just asking. No harm in asking. So this is the text. Tatpasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumohan jayato hanta priya daiva tamasya devi janavyasun kena sati prakopita tapasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan ajayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita tapasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan ajayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita. Would like to chant? Tatpasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan jayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita. Tatpasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan jayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita. Tatpasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan jayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita. What else? Tatpasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vada sumahan jayata hanta priya daiva tamasya devi jahavasun kena sati prakopita. Word for word, tat, that, pasyatam, of those who had seen, ke, in the sky, bhuvi, on the earth, cha, and adbhutam, wonderful, mahat, great, ha. There's only one in the verse, but it's two in the synonyms. Oh, I see, they merged there, okay. So this is the meaning of ha. Oh. Okay, so you see a really nice breakfast. Ha ha! Adbhutam! How wonderful. Okay. Well, okay, when you see something not so good for breakfast, you can go, ha ha. Bengalis say that, right? Ha ha. I was saying ha ha. That was like they're laughing all the time. Such a jolly group of people. Ha ha. That means yes or something, doesn't it, in Bengali? What does it mean? Yeah. It's different. Iti. Thus. Vadaha. Roar. Sumahan. Tumultuous. Ajayata. Occurred. Hanta. Alas. Priya. The beloved. Daiva Tamasya. Of the most respectable demigod, Lord Shiva. Devi, Sati, Jahau, quit, Asun, her life, Kena, by Daksha, Sati, Prakopita, angered. When Sati annihilated her body in anger, there was a tumultuous roar all over the universe. Why had Sati, the wife of the most respectable demigod, Lord Shiva, quit her body in such a manner? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There was a tumultuous roaring all over the universe in the societies of the demigods of different planets, because Sati was the daughter of Daksha, the greatest of all kings, and the wife of Lord Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Why did she become so angry that she gave up her body? Since she was a daughter of a great personality and wife of a great personality, she had nothing to desire, but still she gave up her body in dissatisfaction. Certainly this was astonishing. One cannot attain complete satisfaction even if one is situated in the greatest material opulence. There was nothing Sati could not achieve either from her relationship with her father or from her relationship with the greatest of the demigods, but still, for some reason, she was dissatisfied. Therefore, srimadbhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 6th verse explains that one has to achieve real satisfaction, yayatma suprasiddhiti, but atma, the body, mind, and soul, all become completely satisfied only if one develops devotional service to the Absolute Truth. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti adhoksaja. Adhoksaja means the Absolute Truth. If one can develop his unflinching love for the Transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead, that can give complete satisfaction. Otherwise, there is no possibility of satisfaction in the material world or anywhere else. Amagyantimirandasya gananjana shalakaya chaksulinminitam dena taismai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Bhashati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanjika Badru Bhashya Kripa Shindu Bevacha Bhatidanam Bhavani Bho Vaishnavi Bho Namo Namaha. So this is big news. Now, these demigods must have known that actually Sati is Durga, Parvati. She's material energy personified. This is big news, that such a great personality would just leave. Something's going on here. Yes. All over the universe. So this is amazing. We think we have a very practically instantaneous communication with our devices, right? But somehow or other, the demigods, all over the universe, immediately picked up on what was happening. And there was a great tumult all over the universe when this happened. I don't know if later on, does Daksha have any reaction to this at all? Okay. So the big question is, in this particular instance, that why did she give up her body? Why is it with someone who has everything at their disposal? It says here, she is the daughter of Daksha. He's like the ultimate sugar daddy. Is that what they call him? Sugar daddy, is that what they call him? Wrong? In a benign way? Oh, okay, forget that one. Burfy. Instead of sugar daddy, Burfy daddy. Okay. Anyways, a father who is the king of kings, great demigod Prajapati, so powerful, very, very powerful. And then also the wife of Lord Shiva, who's Mahadev, the most powerful of all the demigods. So what could she want? What could she not have? And she's also the material energy. What could she not want? Well, what could disturb her so much she just actually kills herself? And of course, we see that happens today also. Sometimes very, very well-to-do people, all of a sudden they're dead. They kill themselves, right? They jump off a building, or they overdose on drugs, or hang themselves, or something crazy goes on. People say, how is that possible? And sometimes this happens, and they interview the neighbors. They go, they were such nice people, right? They were such nice people. How could that happen? So it's a great, especially for materialists, it's a great mystery. Why is it someone could just, what's going on here? How could someone be so unhappy as to give up their life? Right? It's a great problem. Suicide. You can say this is suicide, right? She killed herself. This is a suicide. It's quite mystical because, Hare Krishna, it's quite mystical because with yogic trance, she just transferred herself to another body. It wasn't like the suicide we have when people jump off of the Coronado Bridge or something like that. They are being transferred to another body, but not exactly what they want. But, it's pretty, on one hand, it's pretty amazing that someone can sit down and just leave their body at will. It's not easy to get out of this body. You ever hear of the silver cord? You ever hear of the silver cord? Apparently it's even mentioned in the Bible. In other words, the subtle body is very much connected with the gross body. And let's say when we dream at night, like that, we leave actually, often dreamland and so on, but there's this subtle cord called the silver cord, and we come back. Death means you break that cord and you go, you don't come back. But that silver cord is there. It's a subtle connection between the body and so on. And but we don't want to give up the body. Even sometimes a very, very difficult situation, we can't get out of the body. We all remember Brajabadu. She was almost 100 when she left her body here. And for many, 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 many years, up until that point, she'd always say, oh, I just want to die. Hare Krishna, Krishna, just take me back to the spiritual world. Because her body was so old and so much pain and this and that. And she didn't want to stay. She wanted to go back home, back to Godhead, but she couldn't go. You just can't sit down in yogic trance like this and just leave your body. So it's a great opulence of the yogic perfection that one can just sit down and go. Bhishma Dev was given that benediction, that he could leave at will. Whenever he wanted to go, he could just go. There's a pastime in the Bhagavatam, I think it's the 8th canto. The demigods are all being harassed very much by the demons and so on. And Lord Vishnu appeared and he said, I'll take care of everything. I think this may be just a precursor to the churning of the ocean of milk. And he said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. He said, but while I'm here, anyone who wants to come back home, back to Godhead with me, come on, we'll go. And no one stepped forward. No one stepped forward. He said, I'll take you back home, back to God. I'll say it again, I'll take you back home, back to God. And then the demigods would do it. So attached. So here they are, the demigods, they have so much facility, but the Lord is saying, he's right in front of you. He says, while I'm here, anyone who wants to go back to Godhead, just jump on back, I'll take you with me. And not one would go with him. Just showing the attachment we have to this material world. We just can't let go. So that's what devotional service, where what do you call it? Cultivating this detachment. Now, this particular verse quoted by Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam, from the first canto of the Bhagavatam, Savai Pumso Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Huksaje Haitukiya Pratyata Yatma Suprasiditi. In the purport, Prabhupada begins by talking about these two paths, pravritti and nirvritti. One is a path of enjoyment, one is a path of renunciation. And the fact that one has to develop the path, the nirvritti marg. One has to become detached from this material world in order to properly engage in spiritual life and devotional service. But the point being is there's no place in this material world where you find complete suprasiditi, complete satisfaction. There's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kam Sakale Ashanta Kami Sakale Asante. What's the last? Krishna Nishkam Atayava Santa. So it spells it all right there. As long as we have this Bhukti Mukti Siddhi. So Bhukti means to try and enjoy in the material world. Mukti means, I'm tired of this material world, let me become liberated. Siddhi means yogic perfections. But Kami, these are all desires, and therefore asanta. You never be peaceful. Why? Because you always want something. You always want something. Especially we all experience with bhukti, trying to enjoy. Even one may achieve what they are aspiring for, but just wait a little while. Right? Just like there's maybe breakfast today, right? You eat your breakfast, oh, this is so good. Very delicious. Thank you, Santosh. You know, you think completely pushti tushti, very satisfying. But just wait a little while. All of a sudden, I'm a little hungry. When's lunch? Right? So eating will not make you suprasiditi or anything in this material world. Because the very nature of it is it's not perpetual. It doesn't satisfy the self. And it's always burning like fire. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, was that verse? Dushbarain analena cha. Material desires, they burn like fire, they're never satisfied. Just like a fire, you can never, it won't go out if you keep putting wood on it. It just wants more and more fuel. So material desires are like that. And even this mukti, which is actually, you could say, an imaginary platform of enjoyment, because as Krishna explained, as is explained in, I think by Lord Brahma, aruya kachena param padam tada, that even you go up and become liberated, you fall back down, because it's a false position to be without the devotional service or taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And siddhi, yogic perfections, all these things don't really satisfy the self. They're all based upon the false ego, a false misconception of oneself. So therefore, ashanta. But Krishna Bhakta, nishkam, the devotee of Krishna who's nishkam, has no other desire but to serve Krishna. There you find a peaceful person. Very, very, very peaceful person. Because they have akama, the nishkam. They don't really have any desire that has to be fulfilled. Sometimes I give this example. It's related, but they, from time to time, you'll see they'll have these prisoners, usually thieves, pickpockets and things like that. Shysters, is that a word for it? Is that actually a Yiddish, shyster? Is that appropriate to say in class? Did I say something wrong? Shyster, because some of those words mean, okay, cheater. They interview them and they write books and so on, and they all make the same point, that I was never able to cheat someone who didn't want to be cheated. Right? And I was never able to cheat someone who didn't want to be cheated, someone who wanted something for nothing. They're really easy to take advantage of. Right? You just think, oh, if I do that. So, as long as we have these material desires, they're very easy for material nature to take advantage of. But one who's nishkam just doesn't have any desire, has nothing to desire in this material world. So, he's unaffected, completely unaffected. How is it Haridas Thakur being tested twice by the prostitute and by Maya herself, completely not at all affected, because he had he's niskam, no desire whatsoever. So a little bit of desire, but no desire. And just, well, you know the story of Ashtavakra Muni? You know that? Ashtavakra Muni. He was curved in 8 places, so when he walked it was quite a scene. Very, very dark complexion, and when he walked sometimes his breathing fire would come out. Great, powerful yogi. He was a king at one time, and he went to the forest to engage in austerities and so on. Because ultimately he was liberated by Krishna. He was in Vrindavan, and he approached Radha and Krishna liberated him, sent him back to the spiritual world. But you know how he landed up with that body? Okay, he was performing his austerities, and Ramba came. Because Indra was very, very conscientious of these very powerful yogis that so powerful they may take his position. So he sent Ramba. And Ramba is a society woman of the heavenly planets whose charms are inescapable. She's been the ruin of many a sadhu. And she approached him, and he said, I'm not interested. I'm engaged in austerities. She said, no, it's okay. It's okay. You're no longer a king, you're not married, so it's a yogi. And she said it's a sin. She told him it's a sin if a woman approaches you not to accept her. Well, he said, you used to be a Kshatriya and this and that, and she tried all these different arguments. He said, no, I just want to engage in austerities. And this is Ramba. I mean, she's like the most beautiful agent of Indra. So she got so upset that she got turned down. She cursed him. She said, you'll become the blackest dark form, and your body will become deformed. She said, well, I'm sorry. Hare Krishna. And he just walked away. And then all of a sudden his body got transformed in that form. Yeah, I think the gopis laughed at him or something, didn't they? The queens or the gopis laughed at him, and there was some karma there because of that. But the point being, he was such an exalted soul that even Ramba, because he just didn't have any desire. Right? Just like after you eat so much, right? Someone says, can you have a little bit more? What do you say? Oh, I couldn't, I just can't. Not even one little something. You're satiated. So the endeavor for the devotees to become completely satiated in Krishna consciousness. And that's what's described in this particular verse from the Bhagavatam. That devotional service, when it's unmotivated and uninterrupted, then one becomes completely satisfied. Then one has no desire whatsoever. So that's the endeavor. So up until that point, one has to be very, very conscientious and careful like that. So in these different pastimes in the Bhagavatam, of course it's described here about someone having all material facilities. It's explained that is the pastime of Hiranyakashipu also. That Krishna set it up in such a way where there's no one who could ever equal a material position like that of Hiranyakashipu. Right? And everything was destroyed like that. So it says that an intelligent person learns by hearing, and a fool learns by bitter experience. So that's the point. The Bhagavatam is there with so much for us to hear about what's really going on in this material world. And to the extent we're intelligent, we can understand just by hearing. We'll never get more than Hiranyakashipu, right? We'll never get more. And it's just when we start seeing the material world in that way, that's a sign of great advancement. And one has to be careful in the beginning stages of devotional service. One has to be very careful, just like Prabhu said about sannyasis. Right? They have to be very careful when they're visiting the house of well-to-do people. Why is that? I could have had this. I used to have a nice wife, and I could have had a big house like this. And when one's in that association, all of a sudden, right, that's one has to be very, very careful. Until as long as that kami, the desire is there, it can be ignited again. and it can be ignited. So now, of course, we know from the previous verses why did Sati give up her body. It had nothing to do with material desires or anything like that. She didn't want to have that connection anymore because her body came from Daksha. It's just a fresh start. Fresh start. That's why she gave up her body. She had that ability to fresh start, just give up this body, which is connected with Daksha. Why? What's wrong with Daksha? Such a nice guy. What a nice name. Daksha means expert. What could be wrong with a guy with a name like expert? Yes, and he offended the devotees of the Lord. So in other words, we can see that her distaste, that's even a soft word, for Vaishnav aparad was so intense, she actually gave up her body. She didn't want to have even the body from her father, who was an offender. She just wanted, I have nothing to do with this. So the lesson there is the devotee runs like anything away from that mentality. Either it's manifested in ourselves or in others. It will have nothing to do with those who are offensive to the Vaishnavas of the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord. Any Vaishnav, but especially one who's very, very exalted, because that hearing those offenses or whatever, it just destroys everything. Everything becomes nash, destroyed. One has to be very careful. Very, very. So that's an example also. She was so adamant and repulsed by that offensive, the words that came, because Daksha really just actually, he spoke. His actions and his words, like that, the way he behaved and so on, were just so intolerable. One cannot tolerate that offenses at all. And I mean, there's different ways to do it. We shouldn't just all kill ourselves if we come across someone who's offensive. We have to push on the movement, but it's just that lesson is there, how one should feel like that. How one should feel when there's devotees of the Lord being offended. One should be like that. Okay, so it's 8:27. Any questions or comments on these few points? Yes.
You mentioned about how Astravakra cursed the gopis because he was in the heavenly planets, and he blessed the ladies there to become wives of the Lord. But then they laughed at him because of his funny movement. And so he cursed them to be kidnapped by rogues, and then they prayed to have some mitigation of the offenses. Okay, you know, the rogue himself will be with Krishna. In other words, when Arjun was coming after Krishna left the planet, the ladies, all the wives were kidnapped. You couldn't stop them. But the commentators say, oh, that was actually Krishna as the cowherds, you know.
Yeah. So we can end here, right? So today's Holy Ekadasi. Any plans? It's a good plan. Is there Harinam today? Jai. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srimadbhagavatam ki jai. Radhe